Hey there guitar players, it's Anthony here at Cutting Edge Guitar. In this lesson today I want to talk to you about a question that I've had from a student of mine who's asked me about how you continuously play fast through chord changes. So what I'm using here is a backing track from Rock Fusion Maestro, favourite guitar player of mine, a guy called Brett Garced, and what we're doing, we're modulating through E minor 7, G minor 7, B flat minor 7 and D flat minor 7. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to aim to just play over the backing track and then talk you through a few things that come out. This is completely improvised, so we'll see what happens and then we'll talk through it afterwards. Here we go. So, how I'm doing this now, for one thing, I've just literally turned on the camera. I've just walked in here today to record all of this stuff. So, what you need to start getting really, really good with this, you've got to spend a bit of time playing around it. Like, for me to be at a point where I'm really happy with a backing track like that, and I'm actually playing something that sounds good, is like half an hour in. Like half an hour of really going, right, okay, that's where I'm going, that's where I'm going, that's where I'm going. And that's all with one chord type. If you're playing over different chord types, like I come from a rock background, so playing over changes and getting into jazzy harmony and all of that stuff has been a very, very difficult transition. But it's something that takes time. You know, when you pick up your guitar cold, you're not into the changes. You're not familiar with your fretboard. Like even if you play guitar every day, it's time and time and time. For example, I've heard people like Frank Gambale, who's a demon guitar player at playing through changes. When he was going out on tour with Chick Corea, he'd be like, I'll be practicing those changes. And you think, like, Frank, well, you can play over anything. Which he can, but you still got to work on this stuff. It's not easy to do. But anyway, let's talk about what's kind of happened. So, effectively, I started playing. I'm not watching this back, so I don't really know. But I know I'm pretty much started around position 4 for my E minor, and I'm generally basing ideas around an E minor 7 arpeggio. A little bit of a approach tone stuff going on, and then chromatic bridging from the minor third down to the then I think I went up to something that would be like, so what I'm using there is a G major 7 arpeggio off of the minor third of that E minor 7. All of this stuff are things I talk about in my platforms. If that is totally losing you already, then just check the stuff out in the links where I can help you out deeper. But that's generally where I go now, or where I went. Now from here, I don't know what happened, but it probably went off into a whole bunch of scalar, legato-y run stuff, because that's kind of what I like to do. So if I just improvise something like that again, let's see what comes up. Okay, that's where I'm going to finish, which is the 5th of, it's a B, so it's the 5th. Yeah? Now imagine that chord change happened into the G minor right at that point. What I would do is try and take a sideways shift from the B into the minor third of that chord. And now what's going to happen at the exact same time that I take that sideways shift into that interval is my thought process, or in my mind, I'm not going to see the fretboard as E Dorian anymore, but what I'm going to see is G Dorian. So now So effectively, you're starting to see the scale shapes differently at that point. Then again, anywhere that you go on the fretboard, so like if I was playing my around my G Dorian vocabulary, or around that sort of stuff, at that point, if the B flat comes in, well, I'd now see this as the sixth of my B flat. And I'm just looking for playing vocabulary around that shape or whatever of that B flat Dorian thing. And again, I just finished up there. Imagine that's where the G flat comes in, D flat even. That's the sixth of the D flat. So effectively, wherever you are on the fretboard, you want your thought process to change in terms of like the fretboard knowledge so that you can hit those chords. Now, that backing track that I'm using over there, I've just got one chord type, so I'm shifting Dorian up, Dorian up, Dorian up. But what I'm looking at doing, like if you're playing over other like chord types and all that sort of thing, make sure that you understand how you can do this with Lydian, Mixolydian, altered chords, all of that stuff. It's endless. It's really, really difficult playing over changes. But as a blueprint, that's the way that I would start building that up and looking at it. And if you are looking for way more help than I can possibly give you on YouTube, do check out my online platform. There's a link to it in the description, and it would be good to see you over there. So that's it for this lesson. Make sure you give it a like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in another video sometime soon. Take care.